Hi guys, welcome back to Food Spot Home and Garden, and today I am counting up some tomatoes. You can see this is my Home Depot bucket, and oh my god, look at how many tomatoes, and this is my mints that I had gotten. So basically I want to take both of these containers and I want to wash every content that is in here. All the green stuff is going underneath the blanket and the red stuff is going in the tomato in the boiled pot. You don't have to add any salt or anything to the water. All I did was twist off those pesky ends of the green part, or whatever the heck those things are called, and then I threw everything else in there. It doesn't matter. I have my sweet 100s and my branded wine tomatoes that are put all in here. This is what I do. I decided this year that I was just going to start canning the tomatoes and not even bother making spaghetti sauces as much. So I have decided to just can the tomatoes themselves and put them into a bunch of jars with all of the tomatoes. Some of the tomatoes are probably going to be sun-dried tomatoes, and some of them are going to be canned ones. So at this point in time, this whole batch is going to the canning. So basically you want to get a big tub of water and boil all of these guys. Oop, there's an eggplant in there. That one's being roasted. I'll take that out later. But it just got slid in there because it was also one of the things that I had produced this year in the garden. You want to take all of these tomatoes and bring them to a boil, and I usually try to boil them for at least an hour or so, or at least until the skin starts to crinkle on them. And then after that, you want to take them and basically put them into jars. I'm going to be using ball jars, and if you need to, I would follow the directions for your state. I usually clean all the jars prior to doing all this stuff, make sure the lids are still good. Some of my lids, actually, honestly, I need to go buy some more lids. I like the wide mouth jars because the wide mouth jars are the best ones to get. The smaller ones are not as great. I've noticed it's easier to get everything out of the jar, so that's what I'm using today. You want to wipe off all your lids, sterilize all of your containers and everything, and then also wipe off all of your contents after you put the amount in there. Depending on where you live, too, depends on how long you need to boil them for to on top of the stove. So basically I'm just doing all my prep work for the tomatoes at this time, which is just basically boiling them for an hour. You can even cut them up into little chunks, and then that would be also your chopped up tomatoes. That's up to you. I usually leave them all whole. I did chop up one tomato, which I didn't really mean to. I was thinking about my salad and some other stuff, what I was going to make for this weekend for my lunch prep, and I kind of chopped them up prematurely. So I decided to go ahead and change all that. So you can see here that my tomatoes are all ready to go. I'm smushing them down in the jar, and this is kind of a little bit messy. So that's why you have to wipe off all of your jars after you're done filling them up. You can see that all of my tomatoes are ginormous. I love this tomato. It's absolutely wonderful. I always order it ahead of time every year. If you get some of the liquid in there, it's not going to kill you. I couldn't find my other ladle that has the holes in it. I would suggest probably using that, or one of the net things that are strainers that can be used too. I try to fill it up as much as I can, try to get all the tomatoes in there as much as I can. And then basically you can wipe off the edges with vinegar. That way there's no food particles anywhere near any of the top. If you do leave food particles, it will actually eventually get moldy and gross, which is really gross. So you want to make sure everything is wiped off. Then put the lid on top, pretty much hand tightened. This is the way that I do it. Some states require you to add extra additives and stuff to your canning, like citric acid. I don't do that. It bothers my tummy, so I never do that. It's just like you can get botulism and stuff like that if you don't do certain things. But I've never had a problem, so that's why I don't do it. So don't do it the Food Aspire way. Do it the way that the ball tells you in your state. So then I get my big, huge, ginormous canner out. I put all of my jars in there. I think these are the 32 ounce to the big ones. And then basically you want to drop it in there and boil it. I think I ended up boiling these actually for 3 or 4 hours. I kind of forgot about it. At some point in time I actually fell asleep, and I forgot also that I had it on low, so I had to keep it in there overnight and do it the next day, which I completely forgot. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this one. This one is awesome. It is something that will stay on your cabinet for a long time. And thanks for also subscribing to the